Let's talk about Hytale. While people were celebrating Midsummer, this was happening. So, I'm not gonna read through the whole thing. Maybe we can read through the whole thing, I don't know. TLDR, a difficult update about Hytale. Today I shared some incredibly tough news with the Hypixel Studios team, which presumably this means that the Hytale actually production team found out about this the same time we did, effectively, right? Like maybe there were a few hours in between. This makes it sound like they found out on the same day. So yeah, we're ending development on Hytale and beginning the process of winding down Hypixel Studios over the next few months. So this is the end of Hytale. That's it. At least in its current form, it is GG's. A lot of this is fluff. We didn't want this, or Riot wanted this, yada yada yada. Game development is brutally hard. We looked at reducing scope, adjusting timelines, finding new angles to keep moving forward. This is typical PR speak, and then like during the end it's like, we love Hytale, we wish that in some capacity it moves forward, and something happens. And obviously, as you might expect, this was one of the most anticipated games. I don't even know in how long. I think the original trailer, there were a few quote tweets of the 61 million views on the announcement trailer. And I felt very weird about this, but at the same time, I made a quote tweet about this because to me, this was expected. I am honestly shocked this didn't happen faster. Why do I say this? Because there was a funny little thing. I was talking to my friends about Hytale, who were also very excited to play Hytale. We all played Minecraft growing up. It was a ton of fun. Obviously, we were all excited about Hytale. But what we noticed is that when we were talking about Hytale, we were talking about completely different things. So, what I started to realize is that, wait a minute, we don't really know what this game even is. No one knows what Hytale is. The pitch for this game was originally just, it's kind of like Minecraft, but more and better. That is a bad pitch for a video game. Very bad pitch for a video game that has been entrenched in like pop culture for like 10-15 years. It's not gonna work. You know the WoW killer? The games that have been killing World of Warcraft for 20 years? WoW's still kicking. So bad idea. And then when we talked about Hytale, we were thinking like, wait, so is this just mini games? Is this just survival like it is like vanilla Minecraft? There was like a long time ago, there were like the Hytale progression zones, right? You looked at this right here. This is what I was excited about, because this to me looks like a full-blown RPG. You get stronger, you move from the typical like forest area to the next area to the next area. I was talking about this and my friend was like, what the hell are you talking about? That's not how it's gonna work. It's gonna be like biomes like it's biomes in Minecraft. And I was like, no, they put this out. World Zones Research. That's not how it's gonna work. And the more we talked, the more I realized this game is 7 years into development and no one knows what this game is. So that was my epiphany, right? And the more I saw people trying to break this down, the more I'm like, just, yeah, like how did this didn't happen faster? Has it been unplayable this whole time? The trailer released 7 years ago. Did they just have cool visuals and concepts the whole time? I'd be surprised if there's not at least an alpha worth playing in there. I assume there is. There would have to be a actually playable beta, alpha, something, right? Like there has to be. But the funny thing is, they were working on a new engine. They were working on a new engine 6 years into development. They reworked the engine of the video game 6 years into development. It's crazy. 61 million views on an announcement trailer, 150 plus people working on Hypixel Studios, secured funding from Riot Games, so the people who publish League of Legends and like Valorant and stuff. Super loyal community that was willing to patiently wait years for crumbs of information. I'm convinced everything shown in the original trailer was fake. I mean, at this point, I don't think there's anything to be convinced of. You just kind of have to assume that they were feeding you vertical slices. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. It's crazy. It's crazy. I think this is a very good exercise in Because they talk about this. We looked at reducing scope, adjusting timelines, finding new angles to keep moving forward. I think they had no idea what they were developing. I think it's as simple as that. I think they were working on 100 different things and no one knew what the hell they were even making. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. How can you work on a Minecraft game for 7 years and can it after remaking the engine? How does that even happen? Because this is like not billions. This is millions and millions of dollars down the drain with nothing to show for it. Literally nothing. It's crazy. Remember the pitch for No Man's Sky, the original interview, I mean? This is kind of much weirder than No Man's Sky. Because No Man's Sky just sounded too good to be true. This was kind of like almost... In a way, this was like almost... It seemed inevitable that someone was going to do Minecraft, but better. It seemed inevitable. Because like the underlying... There's a reason why Mojang themselves made the Bedrock edition. The Java edition of Minecraft has limitations that are basically impossible to overcome, right? Even Mojang themselves is basically admitting that the old game is not really that great anymore. Like, you can do a bunch of stuff to build on top of it, but even they are working towards new ways of, like, basically recreating the game through the whole Bedrock thing, right? So I assume that something like Hytale coming along and bringing together, because keep in mind, Minecraft was never built to be this like game that is spun off 50 different community-made servers. Minecraft at its core was just a goofy little building game. It just became something so much bigger. So I always assumed that someone like Riot, someone like Hypixel, someone like whoever was going to come along and bring all of these developments that exist in 2025 together into a brand new, effectively just better Minecraft. So it seemed inevitable, but at the same time it's also like a bad pitch, because being better doesn't necessarily guarantee your success, right? Especially with a community that is as entrenched as Minecraft. No Man's Sky was just too good to be true. This is crazy though. Original trailers probably CG that they claim it's in-engine footage. They had some videos that were supposed to be like, are they on the YouTube channel? Or were they just on Twitter? They had actual gameplay previews. I'm assuming it was just on Twitter. I mean, even something like this, right? Like, this is 2020. This is 2020. Like, obviously, this is a vertical slice of the game, right? But this is 5 years ago. It's 5 years ago at like a 100-person team. And there was another clip of them playing the game. So obviously these are not legit showcases of the game. Of course they're not. But there was a game in there. Somewhere in there was a game. And they just canned the whole thing. Straight up shutting down, GG's, locking up doors. People are saying that they really hoped for like them to open source it. Does nothing for 9 years then leaves. Something like this. Open source the engine. I don't think this is gonna happen. Now, I do have a bit of a conspiracy theory. Now, I'm gonna admit, this conspiracy theory is not... It's not even a half-baked idea. It's once again a microwaved idea. But as you may know, there was another video game that Riot was working on. Their big MMORPG that was shut down. Well, not shut down, it was like, it was basically put on ice for a unspecified amount of time. For all intents and purposes, it's shut down, right? So, I was thinking, for the longest time when people talk about something like an unironic version of what the metaverse was supposed to be, and people always say, we already have these things. We have something like VR chat. We have something like Roblox. We have Minecraft. We have all these different games which already enable the experience of basically there is a sandbox and you go into completely different like versions of the same game, right? The unironic metaverse. So I was thinking, if you were working on a game that was meant to be a giant sandbox with all the tools you have with the hindsight of what like happened to Minecraft, right? You know that people are going to make these servers. You know that people are going to spin it off into their own like mod ideas. You create all of these development tools because Hytale even advertised the fact that they were creating development tools for the game before the game even existed, right? This was a thing they actually advertised, or at least talked about in blogs. I don't remember. So, if you have the hindsight of all this stuff, and you are bought up by Riot, a company that makes massive video games, they have League of Legends, Valorant, all this stuff, right? What if the ideas behind Hytale became a little bit too big for Hytale? And what if the developments of Hytale are going to be spun up into something oh much bigger than Hytale? Some might even call it an MMORPG that is built on the foundation of jumping between these different servers, different worlds, built with the hindsight of what happened to Minecraft. I don't think so, because the League MMO was supposed to be based in the League of Legends universe. It doesn't make a lot of sense for it to be Hytale. But then again, why would you develop a game like this for 7 years only to can it completely? I do have another theory. The other theory I have is much simpler. Riot might not have just known how to monetize the game. I think Riot might have realized that we're just not going to make money with this. How do you monetize this? If you put a box price on it, it's not going to make a lot of money. If you put skins in it, you can't put skins in it because this is based on Minecraft. Minecraft has skins, you can change skins, you can do whatever, right? How do you monetize this? How do you monetize a Hytale? That might be a much simpler solution to this. They might have realized that the amount of money they've poured into this will be very hard to recoup, which doesn't seem particularly likely to me because I think this thing was going to sell millions of copies either way. Hytale is developing the next Valorant agent, sorry to spoil. It's such a weird way, because like I think this was sudden. This must have been like super sudden, right? Bedrock is paid for skins. Somehow I managed 500 gold and could afford the Skibidi toilet set. I know Bedrock has like certain things that you pay for, yeah. But I don't know enough about it, because like what people don't think about when it comes, people always roast Mojang for not making anything. Think about the fact that you bought Minecraft when you were like 11 years old for like 12 euros. And you've been playing it for thousands of hours over the course of like 2 decades almost. Relax. Well, it's not 2 decades. I paid like 13 or 17. I don't think it was even the euro. I think I was still paying in lats. I don't think we had even swapped to the euro yet. And I've been playing this game literally for like 15 years without paying a dime. They realized they can't monetize this 7 years into development. It's not that they expected they don't know how to monetize it. When it comes to companies like this, it's not about making money, it's about making how much money. And something like Riot can put out probably a League of Legends skin and make more money than 70% of video games that are made. It's like the typical thing of, I don't know how true this is. Oh, it's Thor. So, does this story come from Thor? I don't know. So, apparently, the whole of StarCraft 2 made less money than a single World of Warcraft mount. How much money do you think StarCraft 2 costs to make, and how much money do you think World of Warcraft a World of Warcraft mount, a single mount, literally a single model with a few animations costs to make? So I think for a company like Riot, it's not a matter of like how much money we're gonna make with this. It's, can we make more money by just making League of Legends skins? It's a slightly different calculus. What employee was that? I assume it's Thor. Apparently this is from him. So this is allegedly. Allegedly not confirmed. What is this? On the contrary, Hall apparently used false numbers as a basis and explanation. Maybe this is not even true. Cited Hall of WoW were based off of the unofficial character statistics. I'm not sure about this, but point still stands. Like, all of these games that sell skins, they make more money than 70% of video games that are created. There's a reason why, like think about the biggest video games that have been around for a long time. Counter-Strike, Dota, League of Legends, Valorant, every single one is free to play. Fortnite, free to play. Where do you think they make the money? And they make more money than most video games. So even if the World of Warcraft example is not true, I mean, it's still true. I can guarantee you, a single skin in Fortnite has made more money than a lot of games. A lot of games. Most likely a hyperbole thing said on stream. Maybe, because I remember seeing a headline about it like a long time ago. I don't know how true it is. I don't know. So yes, 7 years later, we farewell to Hytale. It was a fun ride, a video game that we didn't really know what it was. The better Minecraft, the Minecraft killer, eventually got killed by Minecraft.